Sunday sermon, the reality that surrounds us, right? Civilization. Okay, this is what humanity is on this planet, is built on raw materials. They're so easy to ignore, yet you're staring at raw materials right now on a video screen. You're listening through raw materials right now. What you're sitting on is raw materials. The concrete and the foundation of your home, your house, your apartment, the bridge you live under is made from raw materials. There's other parts of this conversation is precursor materials. That's the materials to make the raw materials that we need. That's the pure lime to make concrete. That's the rhodium to make super magnets and make them cheaply. Those materials, those minerals are in parts per million, parts per billion on our planet. And we harvest them. This is what we do. This is what's it came along with farming, with agriculture, with animal husbandry, with houses, with shanties, with shacks, the bowls that we eat with, the knives and the forks Americans like, Europeans like, the chopsticks. They're bamboo chopsticks. The bamboo is a raw material. This is how the basis, the functioning of our society works. And we're a part of that. We're a part of this global humanity thing that people wish to deny. What that means is, look at the raw materials you're sitting on. If somebody else wants this suburbia, look at the raw materials it needs to sit on. Maybe an apartment. This is a balance. This is a reconciliation for how humanity lives on this planet. Are we better off in apartments? Or are we better off spread across the countryside in little hidey holes? These are good conversations, worth having. These big conversations, humanity itself is a natural resource. Without enough of us, it's hard to muster up a war. But the other side of that, without enough of us, it causes wars. This is raw materials. It's a tough perspective to keep, to look at, to use. But in one level, when I managed 40 people, when I managed a product with 60 people, at 7 facilities in 6 states and 1 foreign country, you begin to have to look at resources and not people. You're looking for a computer specialist. You're looking for a controls logic specialist. You're looking for people that know how to do the job that needs to be done. Resources, raw resources. And again, it's a very harsh look. It's looking at the can that your food came in. Where'd the can come from? Somehow this has to be balanced and reconciled. These are the raw materials of the life around us. To turn anything off all at once would have to be reconciled, would have to be balanced, would have to be managed and planned. Vegans, big conversation there, right? Well, shaming people into veganism isn't going to work very well. And the challenge is we're omnivores. It's almost a requirement. We have a broad spectrum of minerals and things that we eat in order to keep a healthy body. Iodine's a good example of that. You can go trace the history of iodine back out to nuclear age testing. So raw materials, this is the big game. This is Koch Industries. This is DuPont. This is Bechtel. This is all these big names, what we used to call Fortune 50 companies, Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies. The business I worked in wouldn't talk to companies outside of Fortune 1000 companies. We simply didn't speak with you. we didn't have a need to speak with you. You couldn't justify speaking to us because we're going to bill you resources. Every level, resource constraints, whether it's minerals, a part you need to fix your car and you can't get it for a week. Institutions are meant to manage these things. Building institutions is what humans do very well. We can name a few different types of these institutions that need to balance each other. We almost have a pretty solid list of institutions required to balance this, like a justice system, an environmental protection agency, Department of Energy. These are necessary functions, public functions. Or we play Texas power games. You've seen them. You saw them in Enron, Texas Power Game. Now, I did mention Koch Industries because they're a major abuser of the whole political system. They are one of the prime players in this, but they're not the only one. There's so many other foundations and institutions out there promoting this libertarian ideal that's hidden underneath both sides, whether you're pieces out, keep your neighbor alive.